Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're safe and well. Woodsy here, and today we're going to be looking at Clot's latest colorway with the Nikeclot Cortez. Let's check it out. So, third colorway out of this interesting take on the Cortez. I actually think the first colorway was my favorite, where it was black and white and the outside shroud was black. I wasn't able to get that pair, and then they also released the yellow and black, which is obviously a sort of like nod towards Bruce Lee colouring, and then you have this pair which is very classic, almost Forrest Gump looking. Really do like this colourway, but I have to admit I still really prefer the first release. I think it was because it was obviously its standout piece. It was showing you this interesting take on the Cortez, and it just seems like a really easy pair to wear. And also, especially with this, it is majority white, and even when it's summertime in the UK, these are going to get very grubby very quick. Now, these retail at £125 and they are releasing on the Sneakers app on the 14th of April. I have these before because I actually went into the raffle via a Juiced website, which is in connection with Clot, and I managed to hit. So these have come all the way from Hong Kong, and they actually would have got here even quicker than they did if it wasn't for the Easter bank holiday weekend. But yeah, in hand, I'm very happy to get them. It's obviously a different silhouette to what I would normally or have been normally reviewing recently on the channel, but I do like the Cortez, and I had the Union Cortez recently, even though I do feel like they was a little bit busy, and I like the simpler sort of plain Cortezes, saying that when I've got this 3-in-1 Cortez. And I have to admit, I feel like Nike are definitely trying to push the Cortez like they said they was going to do, and yeah, I'm happy that they've actually done this with Clot, and they've released this very interesting Kung Fu inspired shoe by Clot. Let's look at the box and then obviously look at the shoe, and also talk about how you can actually technically wear this pair 3 different ways. Now, it has that yin and yang theme throughout, and they talk about this more in detail with the actual talk they did about the first release, and I will leave that video link down below. It is a bigger box than what I'm normally used to. When it comes to Nike products, I'm used to the sort of standard size, and it is going to be a bit awkward to fit in the collection. But I do like the fact that they have the yin and yang, and it is just a little bit more unique. So on this side you have Nike spelt out with these martial arts characters, and on the other side you have Clot spelt out with the martial arts characters. You've got Nike text as well in a sort of translucent print as well on the top and on those outer sides, and then on the label it states Nikeclot Cortez Clot. This is white game royale, and I got this in the UK 9.5, which is a US 10.5. I went up that half size because I wasn't too sure on the fit of these, and I'm actually pretty glad I went up that half size, just because I feel like, especially when you just wear the outer bit with the insole, they're a little bit snug, but they will probably break in if you get your true to size, but I was very happy with getting that half size up. Inside the box, you've got this open compartment where those insoles are kept, and then you have the Nike and Clot branding paper that also has those martial arts characters on it as well, protecting the shoes. Now, Clot have deemed these the Clotez, which I think is a very good nickname for these, and yeah, the shoe itself. So that outside shroud is the main part that gives it that Cortez look. You've got Cortez outsole, and it's got the same tread. Midsole's white with that Game Royale flash through it, and then it is this very flexible, pliable, almost like nylon-y material through that shrouding, and then you have this rubbery print of a half royal blue swoosh. You've got this lacing as well at the back of the heel that goes through the sort of like rim of the shrouding, and if you pull that, I do feel like it actually effectively helps to tighten and secure these even better. You have royal blue tips, you've got a royal blue lace lock, and it has that yin and yang logo on it as well, and you do have 3M specs through that lacing as well. Taking that inner shoe out, really simple. Let's take that out and put it aside for now. Inside the actual outer part of the shoe, You actually get a sizing label and the SKU number and everything like you would normally on a Nike product. And then around this rim, you have little parts of rubber to give it that grip. You also get that translucent grippy rubber on the heel, obviously, so the inner shoe doesn't slip out. And then at the toe box inside, you have this thin white piece of rubber or plastic just to give it that structure. And I do feel like it sort of protrudes in a weird way and does look weird, but obviously you need that in there to give it its a sort of stability and structure. Otherwise this toe box is just going to collapse. Now, the way you can wear it 3 ways is obviously you can have the inner shoe in the outer bit and just wear it how it is presented, or you can take the insoles and then put it to this outer shoe and you almost have a modern take on a kung fu style slip-on. And I didn't think I was going to like it at all with this, like wearing it like this, but it was actually quite fun when I slipped them on earlier, and obviously you will see what they look like at the end of the video. But I will just probably more than likely be wearing either the inner shoe itself or the inner shoe inside the outside shrouding. But yeah, cool nonetheless, and obviously goes really well with that kung fu theme. That insole, white with Nike and Clot logo in red, and then you have this sort of like grey creamy sort of leather padding as well, and it's obviously got a good structure through the heel. To the inner shoe, so it has that sort of very kung fu look to it. You think of those shoes that were worn in Kill Bill. Obviously it wasn't a Nike shoe, I can't remember the branding, but I will dot the image around. And it also almost looks like a very vintage looking running Nike shoe as well. The leather used on it is really soft and supple in this bright white leather, and you have stability through the toe box. And I'm not overly keen again on the sort of structure of that toe box, but I suppose it needs to be quite prominent because Cortez's sort of have that prominent toe box as well. The outsole is in majority black. It's very smooth. It doesn't have sort of like a lot of traction on it. And then you have this half white circle on it as well, and then the Clot logo in red. And what they said on the video when they were first talking about these is the fact that it's supposed to almost leave a yin and yang print in the sand or dirt or wherever you're walking. The concept as well behind this inner shoe is the fact that it is good practice, or is polite to take your shoes off when entering in a home, so that you don't bring in all of the dirt and grime and stuff like that, and you keep someone's house clean and tidy. But you can take this out and have a clean indoor shoe to wear if you like to have slippers or shoes when you're indoors. I am definitely one of those people. I love to wear sort of like a slip-on or something like that when I am indoors, so this concept works perfectly for me. Against that white leather, you have these red accents popping out, so all the swooshes are red, the heel tabs are red, and then the label on the tongue is red. So on the right side you've got the Clot logo, on the left side you've got the Nike branding. Insole is white as well, and then you have the contrasting red on the Nike branding, the Clot logo, and then you have these yin and yang circles. The actual material inside is basically showing you the back of that leather, and it is a very suede-like material. And on this pair that I've got, it probably does vary from pair to pair. On the right side it's quite a smooth sort of suede, and on the right side it's really hairy. I'm going to make sure to show that in the video because it is quite interesting. The tongue itself is almost like a Dunk sportswear tongue, very thin, and then you have these bright white flat laces. You do not get any spare laces. It would be quite interesting to obviously put in a blue lace or a red lace, but I like the simplicity of the white lace. They stuff it with paper. You also get these almost like straw-like cardboard shoe trees, and it does remind me of how Clarks sometimes present their shoes. All in all, I think this is such a good little concept. I love the variations. I love the story behind it, and I think Clot do such amazing work when it comes to Nike. They've done quite a lot of collaborations prior, and they've actually got a sportswear dunk coming out soon that looks really clean. It's using that silk material that they've used on previous collaborations, and I think, or I would assume that it is tearaway as well. All in all, £125 is pretty much standard Nike pricing. I feel like these should be hopefully easy to obtain if you would like to get them, and I love the fact that you have so many different ways you can wear this pair. But yeah, Oh, let me just say one thing I didn't say is on the heel tabs you have the Chinese symboling, and this actually states Kung Fu. So again, a tie back to the inspiration behind this pair. Nearly forgot that one. So let's go to the on feet. I'll show you all the different variations on how to wear these and tell me what you think of them. I think they're really cool, and I love the fact that I've got something a little bit different recently, because obviously majority of the time I am picking up dunks. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. It's Woodsy out.